What you are looking at now is New York City, the economic heartland of the United States of America. 6,672 kilometers away lies the Hermit Kingdom of North Korea. Spearled by great leader Kim Jong-un, this nation strives itself as being the most powerful nation. You may be thinking to yourself, how could a country smaller than New Mexico be perceived as powerful? Well, out of the 9 countries that have nuclear weapons, the DPRK is one of them. But this just makes more questions than answers. How did they acquire such weapons? Why would they need such weapons? This documentary should answer most of your questions. This documentary explores the geopolitical atmosphere surrounding the North, rising tensions on the peninsula, and the history of North Korea. Lots of what caused the Korean Peninsula to split can be linked back to the end of the Second World War. After Imperial Japan's defeat, the peninsula was temporarily split. The Soviets occupied the north, and the Americans occupied the south. By 1950, the two superpowers left, and left behind two drastically different regimes. A tyrannical dictatorship led by Kim Il-sung, and an artificially created democracy led by Syngman Rhee. On June 25th, 1950, the North invaded the South. Kim Il-sung thought the Americans would just look the other way. They wouldn't care, right? Well, considering that the Cold War was a thing and the Red Scare was everywhere, this would not be the case. American President at the time, Harry Truman, spoke to the United Nations about this invasion, stating,
"Korea is a small country, thousands of miles away, but what is happening there is important to every American. An act of aggression such as this creates a very real danger to the security of all free nations. This is a direct challenge to the efforts of free nations to build the kind of world in which men can live in freedom and peace. This challenge has been presented squarely. We must meet it squarely. The prompt action of the United Nations to put down lawless aggression and the prompt response to this action by free peoples all over the world will stand as a landmark in mankind's long search for a rule of law among nations."
The Americans cared a lot about the North Korean invasion. They sent troops to the south to defend it. Originally, they were the ones on the retreat. However, General Douglas A. MacArthur proposed a strategic landing at the port of Incheon, cutting the supply line into two. And once UN forces came, it was clear that the North Koreans had to retreat into their country. The Americans followed them back into North Korea, capturing Pyongyang in the process. He almost made the North Koreans retreat into the Chinese border.
General MacArthur announced that we would be home by Thanksgiving. We believed him. Life seemed good in Pyongyang. Morale was sky high. James Cardinal, Private First Class.
They said it sounded like Chinese. No one knew what the hell was going on. It was Halloween and colder than a witch. We waited and froze. It was very dark. Robert Harper, 19th Infantry.
However, the Chinese, feeling an antagonistic American force slowly heading to their border, decided to join the war, backing the North Koreans. The Chinese forces caused the American UN forces to retreat, and fast. They went all the way back down to the 38th parallel. this time sending defensive positions closely to where the modern-day border is now. We have looked at the past, now let's take a look into modern-day life in North Korea. What is life like? Well, to put it bluntly, terrible.
작전 전구 안에 미제 침략군 기지들과 남조선과 그 주변 지역의 모든 적 해상물들 침략군 기지들.
The government will do anything to remain that little longer in power, whether that be sending innocent people to political prison camps that have worse conditions than the Holocaust-era camps ran by Nazi Germany.
When I arrived at the prison camp, it was April 6th, 2000. It was awful when I went inside. That day they completely beat the hell out of me. They'd put a wooden stick behind your knees and make you sit down, like this. If they pushed down on you, you'd collapse and then you'd hear your kneecaps cracking. I got beaten up and tortured for about 9 months. Before I got arrested, I weighed 165 pounds. After 10 months, I had a physical. When I looked at what I weighed, I was 79 pounds. I couldn't endure it anymore.
What you're looking at right now are things like Kim Jong-un and his government do not want you to see. Starving people, orphans out on the streets by the age of 8, innocent people afraid to speak out of fear that life will get more difficult. However, there is always a silver lining. Defectors are changing things for the better.
라디오를 이거 충전을 이렇게 하는 거야. 이게 충전하면 전지도 쓸 수 있고, 하고 USB 어디 갔나? USB인데 이거 자세가 시장 요즘 뭐 잘 팔리지? 전불 같은 거지. 전불 같은 거. 영화가 이 새로 나온 영화가 많이 들어가 있어. 그리고.
North Koreans are getting information. They're getting it fast. There are people who started to smuggle memory sticks into the country via the Chinese border. The data on them could be news broadcasts, southern TV shows, southern movies. Just a glimpse of popular culture can lead someone to defect. Memory sticks are so prevalent, even some public officials have a memory stick or two.
new warning of all-out war for the first time. The mysterious and secretive nation.
There is nothing imminent, but these threatening statements have everyone on edge.
Are we on the brink of a nuclear war?
The hot topic for today is that North Korea has been the first country since the USSR to threaten the United States with a nuclear bomb and have the ability to do so. The North Korean government have kept details on their intercontinental ballistic missiles, also known as ICBMs, a secret. But here's some information we have. This is the Hwasong-15, the most recent missile unveiled. North Korea has stated that the missile has an altitude of around 4,475 kilometers and traveled some 150 kilometers downrange with a flight time of 53 minutes. Based on the trajectory, many believe that this would mean that North Korea would have the ability to 1,000 kilometers, more than enough to reach Washington, D.C. This world we live in certainly is a dangerous one. Many have stated this is the second Cold War. Two nations who have the ability to destroy each other, antagonizing each other. Well, mainly a certain American president has claimed fire and fury.
We interrupt this program. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow.